Power Chomper has always been one of those variants in the Garden Warfare games who, whilst he's far from the best, he does have his small community of loyal mains who swear by him on no end, and I can honestly see the appeal. Having the highest damage output of all the spray variants in the game, having a spray weapon that lasts way longer without overheating, keeping your 175 health, and in certain situations, the chain lightning really does help out when needing to chew through cannon fodder. But I do wonder how many people know of this character's humble beginnings. How Power Chomper's start in the shooter games was far from graceful, or even a soft landing. So today, let's go over the history of Power Chomper and how he came to be in the modern shooter scene. Briefly, before we begin our history lesson, let's remind ourselves what Power Chomper does. He is one of the 4 spray variants in the Chomper class, and vomits out a string of electricity. This electric spray deals 10 damage a hit, at a rate of 240 rounds per minute, and can overheat if used too much. It also applies chain lightning damage, but you probably already knew that given it's a power what the fuck ever. Onto the history. The Power Chomper was one of the variants that came with the launch of Garden Warfare 1, so he's been around since the very beginning and has seen everything. Now given this was back when lightning was cracked as shit and could easily dispel entire groups of enemies like it's no one's fucking business, you'd expect this hue-shifted piranha plant to kick ass constantly. Well, this is how PopCap presented him on launch.
Oh my god, look at all of these characters, I'm so happy. Mr. PopCap, what Chomper variant is that you have right there?
Now feast your eyes at this bad boy! Yeah.
That's right, 12 whole fucking damage per second at launch, with a whopping 3 damage per hit in a game where the melee class doesn't get any damage upgrades at all, meaning he's always going to hit that pathetic amount. Hell, look at this one clip from Koopa Kung Fu, where he literally deals fuck all damage to the chemist, despite physically spewing chain lightning arcs all over this undead Breaking Bad wannabe for 2 whole seconds. Power Chomper only manages to deal about 20 damage to him, which is the equivalent of absolutely fucking nothing. Hell, even the shit stain that is the armored station, and its Satan counterpart of it existed back then, could easily make Power Chomper do fucking nothing. Whoever was in charge of this shit and thought it was a great idea to release him in such state has about as much intelligence as that one guy on Twitter who thinks a shark wearing sneakers is racist to Italian people. You literally lose every encounter unless you mash abilities, which sounds like another class that initially had that fate when a game first launched, but I digress. Luckily, PopCap seemed to realize that Power Chomper fucking sucked, and 4 months later in June, when the Tactical Taco Party update came out, Power Chomper was given 2 significant buffs that would bolster his performance greatly. His damage output was doubled, and his weapon could now fire for much longer compared to his adversaries. Now you can finally one-on-one that all-star you kept losing to in just under 10 seconds. So, still hot shit, but at least he's not horrifically awful like he was back at launch where he couldn't even kill a fucking scientist from half health. He was slowly climbing out the hole that PopCap had thrown him in. Then, another 3 months later, Garden Warfare 1's last major update, Legends of the Lawn, would release, where Power Chomper was given a substantial damage buff, now finally being on par with the likes of the infamous Fire Chomper. Having 10 damage per hit now allowed him to finally take on fights with confidence, and deal the damage enough to take on most classes. He was now finally at where he should have been in the first place, but better later than never I suppose. This Power Chomper could now thrive in a lot more situations and was infinitely more usable compared to the laughable 3 damage version we had for the first 4 months of the game. And since that 10 damage update, he would remain like this for pretty much the rest of his days. His damage output wasn't changed in the sequel, and outside of lightning getting a quote bug fix, which I can't possibly think of why they decided to butcher lighting so hard, Power Chomper has remained exactly as he is today, except now having access to an actual damage upgrade, bolstering his damage to 11 per hit. Power Chomper nowadays has much more going for him, and although he can't make the most out of his lightning from his Garden Warfare 1 days, he has climbed through the trials and tribulations of dealing 3 whole fucking points of damage, because these twats cannot balance for shit. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.